We hear the word matter a lot, but what is matter? How can we identify the matter and what the properties of matter? That will be our lesson, where we will first know what is matter and then we study the properties of matter. So what is matter?
Oh, I'm sorry, little kitty.
It's okay. Doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter, kitty. In fact, everything around us is matter.
So as mentioned, everything around us on earth is called matter. And that includes the rocks, the water, the school bus, and even us are made of matter. And we can identify the matter as anything that has mass and volume. So before we look at the definition of mass and volume, just let's imagine we have this basket. If we try to move the basket, it will be easy to move. And as we put some balls in the basket, it will be harder to move and even harder as the number of balls increase in the basket. So the resistance of basket to movement, that is mass. Or simply, we define the mass as the amount of matter that the body contains, how many poles are in the mass in the body. And we measure the mass by kilogram and gram. And the volume is the space that the body occupied. And we measure the volume by centimeter cubic, meter cubic, or liter. So obviously the arcade game has more volume than the drone because the arcade game occupies more space than drone does. So now, what are the properties of matter? We have physical properties and chemical property. The physical property are the properties that can easily observed directly in the matter. But chemical property, they are the property in which, in order to study them, we have to react the matter chemically. So the physical property include the taste and smell, density, melting, boiling, hardness, electric conductivity, and thermal conductivity. Start by taste and smell. As we know, we can differentiate between matters based on their color, like between silver and gold, or taste, like salt and sugar, or even smell, like vinegar and perfume. But be aware, don't taste or smell any substance in the lab without asking your teacher, because some of those material could be poisonous and harm you. Second property is density. So first we have 3 equal sized 1 centimeter cubic balls of crock, glass, and iron, and we will put them on a scale. So the mass of the 1 centimeter cubic crock is 0.2 grams. The wood is half gram. So the mass of 1 centimeter cubic of crock is smaller than the mass of 1 centimeter cubic of wood. And the 1 centimeter cubic of iron equals 7.8 grams. So the mass of 1 centimeter cubic of wood is smaller than the mass of 1 centimeter cubic of iron. And that is because the difference in density. So the density is the mass of unit volume. So the mass of unit volume means the mass of 1 centimeter cubic of substance. So the mass of centimeter cubic of crock is 0.2 gram, mean that the density of a crock is 0.2 grams. And the density of wood is half a gram per centimeter cubic. and the density of iron is 7.8 gram per centimeter cubic. So the density is like a fingerprint. Each substance has its own density. And for that, the equal volume of different substances have different masses. So 2 balls, the crock was 2.2 gram per centimeter cubic, and the mass of the iron for the centimeter cubic was 7.8 gram. So equal volume of different substances have different masses, and equal masses of different substances have different volumes. But the density of matter is a fixed value, whatever the used volume or masses of the same matter. So the cube of aluminium will equal the density of this pan, of aluminium pan. And the density equal mass divided by the volume. Mass measured by gram and the volume measured by centimeter cubic. So density will measured by gram per centimeter cubic. So what is meant by the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cubic? We know that the density means the mass per unit volume. So the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cubic. That means that the mass of 1 centimeter cubic of water equal 1 gram. So what happens when we decrease the volume of a body to a half according to its density? It's the same body, so it will have the same density. So the density will remain constant. So here, calculate the density of a substance whose mass is 35 gram and volume is 25 centimeter cubic. So density equal mass divided by volume. So density equal the mass is 35 gram, volume 25 centimeter cubic equal 1.4 gram per centimeter cubic. In an experiment to determine the density of a liquid, the following results are recorded. The mass of empty cylinder 75 gram, the mass of a cylinder containing a liquid 135 gram, and the volume of the liquid is 100 centimeter cube. So to calculate the density of the liquid, density equal mass divided by volume. We have the volume of the liquid, but to calculate the mass of the liquid, we will have a scale and we will measure the mass of an empty container, which equal 75 gram, and then we will put the liquid on the container and weight it, so it equal 135 gram. So the mass of the liquid will equal the mass of the cylinder containing liquid minus the mass of an empty cylinder. So the mass of the water equal the mass of cylinder with water minus the mass of the empty cylinder. So the mass of water equal 135 minus 75 equal 60 gram. So the density of the liquid equal mass divided by volume equal 60 gram divided by 100 centimeter cubic equal 0.6 gram per centimeter cubic. On determining iron density using a piece of iron, whose mass is 156 gram, the iron piece is immersed in 60 centimeter cubic of water. The water rises to 80 centimeter cubic. Find the density of iron. So again, density equal mass divided by volume. We have the mass of the iron easily by putting on a scale. But we calculate the volume any body. We have a cylinder and we put an amount of water. Here we put 60 centimeter cubic of water and we immerse the iron. When we do that, the water will rise. So the water rises to an 80 centimeter cube. The amount the water rises in the cylinder equal the volume of the iron. So the iron volume will equal 80 minus 60 equal 20 centimeter cube. So the density of iron equal 156 gram divided by 20 centimeter cubic equal 7.8 gram per centimeter cubic. Let's do this experiment to find out the relation between matter density and floating or sinking in water. So here we have a bunch of objects and we will see which of them will sink or float based on the relation between their density and the density of water. So water density equal 1 gram per centimeter cubic. So let's try this crown. It has a mass of 325.2 gram and the volume of the crown will equal the amount of prizes water equal 62.5 centimeter cubic. So the density of the crown equal 5.20 gram per centimeter cubic more than density of water. So we sink. Next we have this object. It has a mass of 42.1 gram and density and the volume of 60.8 centimeter cubic. So its density equal 0.69 gram per centimeter cubic less than density of water. So will float. This object has a mass of 11.1 gram and a volume of 9.7 centimeter cubic. So its density equal 1.1 gram per centimeter cubic more than density of water. So we sink. This object has mass equal 2.3 gram and a volume of 20.8 centimeter cubic. So density equal 0.11 gram per centimeter cubic. So float. So from this experiment, we know that any object that its density less than density of water will float, and any object has density more than water density will sink. So this object sinks because its density is more than density of water, and this object floats because its density less than density of water. So as we see that whenever we put two matter or two liquid or gases with different density, the matter with higher density will sink and the matter with a lower density will float. So that's the reason water isn't used to put out petroleum fires, because the density of petrol is less than the density of water. So the petrol float on the water exposed to air and increase the fire. So the water doesn't put the petrol fires. And That's why the balloon filled with hydrogen or helium rises in the air carrying flags, because the density of hydrogen and helium less than the density of air. So why the change in the density of matter is used to check the purity of matter? So because each matter has its own density, therefore the change in the density value of any substance indicates its impurity. So we use the density to determine the quality of the nature milk. We already know the density of milk. So we bought a kilogram of milk and we want to know if this milk is pure or impure. So first, we know that density of milk is 1.03 gram per centimeter cubic, and we have 1 kilogram of milk, and we will measure the volume of our milk, and by calculating the density of our milk, the mass over its volume, if the answer or if the density of our milk were less or more than the density of milk, we know that our milk is impure. But if the calculated density of the milk we bought is equal to the density of milk, the milk is pure.